Hello, and welcome to another update on XRP. I'm currently here on the daily time frame, and we can see that the market is, I think, trying to form a low here around that $2.74 level. That's the 50% retracement, and normally the maximum that we would consider for a fourth wave pullback, for XRP here. In an impulse, okay? So if this is an impulse to the upside, an impulsive structure which has certain rules and guidelines from an Elliott wave point of view, honestly, we should start to see further upside from here if this yellow interpretation is correct. But obviously, it's not the only interpretation there is, and it's kind of questionable. I think holding here onto the hope that we're going to see a fifth wave is really just hopium. The market is weak at the moment, but it's still a scenario that's on the chart. It's still valid, so watching for it. But please note that obviously with the price trolling support, trolling key levels, it becomes at some point more likely that we're possibly in a larger B wave correction as shown in white. An ABC structure that could take us into the lower support area becomes more likely, obviously, with the price already maxing out upper support and without giving us any upside impulse. Now, if we get further upside from here, possibly in the next few days, next few weeks, again, it's not visible yet, then there should be a fifth wave that can take us to, you could say, $4.30 plus, and that fifth wave should complete a larger third wave, then a higher low and a higher high, and the door to $5 plus is open. So this is how we would track this move to the upside, a 5-wave sequence. The thing is that this fourth wave pullback is already very deep. It's valid, everything, but also looking at the proportions, it already starts to look more like a so-called diagonal pattern, which is the white scenario. Wave 1, wave 2, A, B, C, and wave 3, then wave 4, then wave 5. So in this case, we have to give it more room. Especially if we break below the September low, it becomes more probable that we're in the B wave. That doesn't immediately change anything because the local trend is down anyway. I'm talking about the local trend here from the July high is down anyway, so it would simply continue the correction. It's simply that we have now approached a key level where really to keep the yellow scenario alive, the bulls have to turn up. Further downside in the white scenario possible would likely send us down to 246, 221. So let's now take a look at the shorter time frame for XRP. And well, you can see here that we are currently dealing with a sideways consolidation. People asked me if I consider this move up as a 1-2 setup from the low. I find it too small to be countable. I wouldn't really count that. It's just too small, right? It's in no way meaningful at all. Surely you can always set the stop below that low, but you don't need a 1-2 label there because you already have the wave 4 label here, which indicates the wave 4 could have bottomed. It's just that if I give it a 1-2 setup, it starts to look like, we have something in this structure that would indicate we want to break out. Not really, right? Not really. I think it's better to work here maybe with some trend lines and work with invalidation points. And as long as this September low is holding, I did tell you, at 269, it's possible the fifth wave has started, but there is literally no upside momentum. This is all within normal, you could say, volatility within this range, nothing meaningful. We need something more substantial. Now, first indication a low is in might be a break above this trend line. I find that trend line really unreliable. I mentioned it in yesterday's video. Not meaningful, especially if it breaks on a weekend. I don't know, probably not so meaningful, but then this here will be a more interesting resistance cluster around $3.10 to $3.15. So that would be the main one to watch. Surely if we break above here, this lower trend line around 285, it could send us to 310. That would be a start. But only, I think, something really changes if we break above this area around 310 to 315, because then we break above an area, below which we've been since mid-August. So below, 3 weeks. So unfortunately, not too much more, not too many more insights here. But you have a good understanding now of all the key levels. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, I invite you to join us on X for additional updates. Links can be found in the description and in the comment section. You get additional video updates, chart updates, and so much more. Also, remember today we've got our member live stream at 5 p.m. UTC, where we typically cover a lot of additional coins. I think last week it was nearly 50. So check it out if you're interested. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.